Welcome back to part 2 of the Garden Report. We're actually going to go outside of the game, look at the big picture for the Celtics.
Oh.
After tonight's
Eastern
win,
Conference.
they are now half a game behind the Toronto Raptors, which is absurd because they have been losing constantly lately, but so is Toronto and so is Cleveland, who, again, lost in overtime tonight. They're only 3.5 games back of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who need a playmaker, apparently.
Well,
yeah, they do.
According to LeBron.
We'll see. And they might have Rajon
LeBron
Rondo
wants
by
more
the time.
help. Shocker.
Yeah, Rondo might be on the Cavs by the time this video gets to the internet. We'll see. But the Celtics have been looking really bad lately. Their defense has been horrendous. They played some good fourth-quarter defense tonight, but we saw throughout the game that their pivot guys, whether it's Amir Johnson or Al Horford, are getting misdirected on dribble penetration from the wings, and then bigs are just rolling through and getting easy buckets. Montrezl Harrell and Clint Capella tonight, I think, had like 5 or 6 dunks between them.
Every time I looked up, somebody was catching an alley-oop, I think. There were some of them that shouldn't have been out. There were a couple that were, don't do that. But the bottom line is that these guys are rolling to the basket. They're getting to the hoop almost without any effort.
It's almost as if we were standing on the court and trying to defend it.
Right, that's why I'm not in the NBA. Didn't quite make the height limit.
It's the only reason.
But that's it. But yes, to answer to go on with what you're saying, the interior defense has been lacking. The defensive rebounding, we've talked about this in the past. They're lacking some of that down low tenacity. They're a 3-point shooting team. Okay, that's what they are. Long shots, long rebounds, get up the court, maximize your shots. They're not doing a whole lot of low post maneuvering and this, that, and the other thing, banging down low. They did lose Jared Sellinger, who was one of those guys. So this is a little bit who the Celtics are. I'm not going to call them a finesse team because that's a knock on them.
Well, that's what Brad Stevens calls them, so I think you're okay to do it.
Well, only when he's mad at them, I think.
That's true.
So.
And you're not mad tonight.
No, I'm not mad at them. I can't be mad at them because this was a big win. This was one of their best wins of the year, coming off one of what I thought was one of their worst losses of the year. So I actually asked Jay Crowder about this after the game tonight. I said, what is this? You've been on these guys for a while. You kind of know the character in this locker room. What's it say about, these guys? What's it say about this team? And he said, when our backs are against the wall, we don't point the fingers at. We're not pointing fingers at each other. We're not arguing with each other. When our backs are against the wall, we come out and we fight, for each other, and we play. What you saw tonight is what you kind of get.
Well, their endemic flaw was exposed tonight because it's the rebounding and the interior defense, and it's kind of caused by the same issue. When they play small, tonight we saw them with 3 guards, Jay Crowder and Al Horford in crunch time. And I talked to Ryan Anderson about this on the Rockets after the game, who had a really good game tonight. He's having a great season. And he talked about how when you're going up against a small lineup like that, which is the Rockets face a lot because they have a relatively small lineup, that they're looking, so Harden will have the ball, have the attention on him. Anderson is looking to kind of spread out and then crash the boards because when he crashes the boards, he's going up against guards most of the time. The Celtics really got exposed with that, and it was especially on dribble penetration where when the one big gets rotated out of the way, the guards can't defend the bigger guys coming through the lane. They obviously have to figure out a way to fix that problem. Last year, they didn't really have much of an issue with that because even though they had Crowder at the 4, they were so tenacious on the perimeter that the teams couldn't really get through them, and they communicated so well. But the connected, kind of that connective tissue between the defenders on the perimeter hasn't really been there this year. There's still a lot of miscommunications or lack of communication. There's something in the way that they work together on defense that I think is a bigger issue than the actual personnel. And you can't really predict how are they going to fix it. It's really just that they got to communicate better and they got to be more cohesive and they got to be on a string together more.
I don't know if they're built to really make a big trade because I don't know if the pieces that they're going to have to give up to bring something in to fix that's going to be a big hit to them. Their bench, the guys that they use off their bench are very valuable, very instrumental to what these guys do. I mean, they need a guy like Smart. They need Rozier's. He's coming up huge. You saw what Jerebko does when he gets the playing time tonight.
Got smashed in the face.
Before he got fish hooked. And
4 stitches, by the way, after the game.
4 stitches.
It did not look pretty. I saw him walking out of the locker room.
That's
not
a Swede
pretty.
right there. That's hockey right there. A lot of his natives are going to be proud of that. Proud of that injury and the blood on the court.
Black leather jacket helped a lot, too.
Did the blood get on the jersey?
I don't think so. It wasn't really clear.
What about the jersey patch?
Okay, so we're just gonna segue right away. All right, I thought you were gonna make a good point. So, okay, 30 seconds here.
Yeah,
the
I wanna get into it.
So the Celtics and GE, the 11th largest, or the 11th place on the Forbes 500 list this year. Mega corporation that's making a big splash in Boston. They're looking for their way to embed themselves with the city.
Yes.
What better way to be on the jerseys of the legendary jerseys of the Boston Celtics?
They're on their way to Boston.
Highly controversial topic because if you look at my post on Celtics blog, my story, which by the way is now like 1,700 words, and I did a bunch of reporting, so go read it. There's a lot of good info in there. All the comments are, this is a travesty, crime against humanity. Maybe Wick should go to The Hague for violating the sanctity of the jersey.
The worst thing since Celtics dancers.
But you know what? Brad Stevens made a good point, which is that last night they wore the gray sleeve jerseys, which everybody hates. So is this really that much of a monstrosity? I don't think so. What do you think?
If they put the GE patch on the gray sleeve jerseys, my head's going to explode. Okay, I won't stand for that.
And GE stock would probably plummet and they would go out of business.
People are going to be dying. It's not going to be a good look for anybody. However, the patch on the jerseys tonight, I thought if you're going to put an ad on the jersey, which, let's be real, people, and I know there are a lot of traditionalists out there and a lot of people who maybe don't understand how money works and how businesses work, but they're in to make money. And it's going to happen. The league's going that way. Look around. Look in Europe. They're walking billboards. This is a nice little classy little circular patch. It says GE. It's in cursive. It honestly blends right in. You wouldn't even really notice it if you didn't know that it just happened. I think it's better than Diamond Nuts in Sacramento, whatever the heck that one is.
Or StubHub's awkwardly shaped logo in Philly.
A classic, just ugly Sacramento Kings dumb decision. But the Celtics, they did it right. If they're going to put the ad on, they picked a company that can actually, I think there's more than just them making money off this. I think there's a good relationship there, and I know you know way more about that than I do.
I talked to a bunch of members in the front office about, especially on the business side, about how this partnership is going to work. First, the lights, which just went out, are actually going to be completely, they're going to have a fully intelligent lighting system in their practice facility. They're going to have access to all sorts of really expensive GE medical machinery. They're going to have an analytic.
Like $50?
They're going to have times like 5,000. But so they're going to have access to medical research teams that are pioneering in their field. GE is creating probably the most pioneering wearable device for monitoring vital signs, which could be implemented very soon in the NBA in games, and they're going to be on the cutting edge of that. So it is a very beneficial program for the team. Everyone that I talked to in the front office is extremely excited, not about the sponsorship side, which obviously they're happy about, but the access to especially medical data and analysis that they're going to get. For a team that has really suffered from injury issues, from Jay Crowder to Marcus Smart to Avery Bradley, who's currently out, to Amir Johnson, whose ankles are 5 times older than he is, it's going to pay off dividends. It really is. And they're getting paid for it, too.
Yeah, no, I 100% with you. It's almost like they were trying to sell us on it, but they didn't really have to. I mean, everything that they said made sense. I mean, if you're going to build a partnership, if you're going to, put a logo on your jersey, you want to believe in, that company, and you want to believe that they can help you and that relationship there. So I think it's very mutually beneficial. And I also think that the Garden Report is brought to you by General Electric.
Well, I believe in Blue Diamond Almonds. I also believe in Blue Apron. So if you want 3 free meals and free shipping, go to blueapron.com/Garden Report. We'll see you next time on the Garden Report. Friday night, they play the Orlando Magic. We will see you then.